This time on Woody's Garage. What the hell is an Oraimo?
Well, today we got ourselves a electric bike, an e-bike. It's an Oraimo or Oraimo, and I'd been looking for a long time for a e-bike, and there are so many different types and so many different models and styles, etc., etc., and the prices are all over the place. And I actually saw this one on Amazon. It was, I guess, a bike company that made them just for Amazon. And they were going for 700 bucks. And everybody that reviewed it, I looked at about 10 reviews, they all said it's the best bang for your buck. There wasn't a single complaint about this bike at all. I noticed that the price came down to like about $400 and suddenly they disappeared. And I was still looking at other bikes, I was still totally confused about e-bikes in general. Then all of a sudden an ad came up on Marketplace for this one for 250 bucks. They showed a picture of a brand new one. They said, it's great, come take it for a ride, la 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 la. So I traveled about an hour and 20 minutes to go look at it. And when I got there, 2 flat tires, battery was dead, rear tire is worn through to the core. We couldn't get it going. The kid that owned it wasn't there. It was his parents. Needless to say, it was kind of weird. But let's let the rest of the video do the talking. Wiggles all over the place. Seems to be this joint right here, and I tried to tighten these up while I was looking at the bike. Maybe a thin washer or something. Okay, so I took these 2 bolts out, these 2 Allen bolts, and these right here, and it didn't see a shim or anything like that, but when I took the handlebars off, I noticed you can change the angle of the bars. I put them more upright so I wouldn't be leaning so much. And then I also noticed that there is a Allen screw right here, which I tightened up in. All the slack is gone, which is great. When I looked at it, there was 0 brakes, and the lady goes, yeah, one of them doesn't work very good. Well, that wheel was turned around the other way. The disc was on the other side. The adjustments for the brakes were totally loose, totally turned in. So you get nothing. You get nothing like this. So, I knew that was adjustable. The display, this troubles me a little bit because that broke. This thing was a year old. It just was so abused. When I was a kid, I had my bike. I treated it like gold. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get this secured without blocking the display, which is necessary. I'd like to take it off, but it means taking all this off. And I was thinking of taking the handlebars off, but no, that's not going to help you either. You got to take all this junk off to kind of fix this. Looks like I can take this off because there's an Allen right there. And then maybe I can glue that up or something. Reinforce it. Okay, to resolve the issue with the display, I safety wired it on. I drilled a hole in this piece and a hole in this piece and just pulled them together. I put a little E6000 on there hoping that might bond, but it doesn't seem like it's going to. But it's nice and firm there now. So, like I said, when I got there, the battery was dead. I got a tiny bit of a charge in it, and it read green for a second down here on the indicators. But then there's an on-off switch here to turn it on, but you get nothing. So, I was there with the lady, and I go, what do you do? I said, no electronics are coming up. I'll call my son. Well, he was absolutely no help at all. But what I found out when I got it home and charged it all up, you turn this on, and then there's a button on this side. I mean, I didn't even notice it yesterday. And it comes up. The seat on these are kind of neat. I did find a manual, however, the website is gone. The company's still in business, they just don't make e-bikes. The e-bikes were just made for Amazon, I guess, and then they said skidoo. It has this pump up bladder control here to add pressure to the seat. Not sure if it's working or not, but I think that's kind of neat. And the rear tire is worn down to shit. I ordered a kickstand because of course the kid lost that. And I also didn't get the key for the battery. That seems to be a common problem with people with e-bikes, that they lose those. But they say they're pretty easy to pick, although I've never picked a lock before. The front forks, when I got it, had like dirt and gunk all built up, like the fork seals were kind of gone. And they see the front forks seem kind of shitty on it. There's a grommet just dangling here. It looks like it goes up in there. Yeah, it looks easy to put back in. All the cables are all wrapped in this. That's kind of nice. Reflectors just kind of floating around. The seat was all the way down when I got it, and I wasn't even sure if it went up. I was just under the impression that this thing was like new. Well, it's not bad. It ain't new. Okay, I think we got everything ship shape. The only thing I don't know, and because the battery wasn't charged when I picked it up, I asked her, how's the battery? She said, oh, it's great. I get there and it's friggin' dead. So it didn't take it took about 2 hours to charge it to full charge. And I tried the bike just a tiny bit in the backyard to make sure the rear wheel spun, but it doesn't mean that the battery is gonna last a long time. So we're gonna check that out. I've also been told that the throttle's actually pretty responsive, and like you gotta kind of get used to it. So I want to go to a wide open space, so I think I'll go to the old air base and try it out. You want to come along? Okay. Okay, we're at the air base. I just went a little ways. This thing cooks. It's really fast. 20 miles an hour. I forgot to fill the tires. just came back from my first ride. It was a lot of fun. The air base, I probably went for about maybe 2.25, 2.5 hours maybe. Constant riding, took it off-road and stuff like that. Gave my knees a workout. This seemed to work out pretty good, tight enough. I bought this drink holder, which kind of blows. So I was looking at the power indicator. We're upside down here. And that's when I quit, when it was right there. Actually, I think the last green one was even out. But the indicator up here, it's got bars over here, and it had 3 bars up, so I don't know which one's right. I would think the battery's right. So I said I better stop before I get stuck someplace. I had forgotten to air up the tires. So they were really low, so that could make a big difference. Because suspension was not very good. I didn't like it. It would, I don't know if I bottomed out. It doesn't look like I did. But it was chunky. Not very good. Maybe I can find a replacement for that. Maybe there's something you can do to make it better. I don't know. Or these little wheelie jobs, I don't know. Overall, for $150, it's a steal.